Hi there guys, welcome to this video. So today we're going to talk about marketing plan, which is part of the principles of marketing course. Now marketing plan is one of the most important marketing strategies that you're going to have, one of the most important marketing decisions that you're going to take, which kind of has an overarching framework for your overall marketing design. So as the name suggests, it's a plan that you have for your marketing, and it starts with the first stage, which is the planning stage. So this is where you actually plan on the decisions that you want to take, the kind of customers that you want to target, and how you want to position those customers, who are your competitors, kind of do a situation analysis. So this is where you actually plan your marketing. The next stage is definitely the implementation stage, where you actually implement your decisions. And then the next one is the control phase, where you actually look back and you kind of review what you've done, and also make sure that whatever you've executed is actually working out or not. So this video is specifically made for the planning phase, because that's, if I were to pick one out of the three stages as in terms of their importance, I would pick up the planning phase. So marketing planning phase has two elements to it. The first element is setting up your mission and objectives, and the next one is basically the situation analysis, trying to understand what situation you are in. So the first thing is about business mission and objectives. So a mission is something which is long-term for a business. So it's defining your business's purpose. It's very important to do that, because if you don't have a purpose, then your team of employees are not going to have a set of goals or set of objectives to go forward with. So it's very important to have a purpose, to have it clearly articulated, and to be clearly communicated to your employees, because at the end of the day, firms are teams, organizations are teams, and teams need a clear purpose to move forward. So it's very important to define your purpose that will guide your decision making. Sounds very trivial, but it's very, very important. So these are the first things that you will do when you are in your marketing plan. And the next one is how do you really define your purpose? Is that would be driven by what core values that you have. What are your priorities? Why are you doing this business? What kind of customer you're targeting, and why do you want to target that particular customer? So once you have your core values, that will actually shape the organization culture. I mean, I've seen many businesses in the 2000s who come up and say, we are all about employee satisfaction. We want to make sure that our employees are satisfied. So hence there were many practices which were undertaken by companies to satisfy their employees, to allow them to wear whatever they want to wear at their business place, to open up cafeterias for them, to give them services such as gym or health equipments in their homes. So what are your core values? And that would be tied up with what your purpose is. So just as an example, you can see that these are the two mission statements. Now, a statement is just a few lines or a few sentences of what your mission is. It's definitely not your complete mission, which is going to be much more elaborative than a statement. But it is important. But companies write their mission statement because then it becomes easy to communicate with other employees and other stakeholders. What are you committed to? So, for instance, Apple is committed to bringing the best personal computing experience to students, educators, professionals, and consumers around the world. So that's their job. On the other hand, if you look at Microsoft, their mission is to empower every person. So it's a little bit more abstract, but I would say you can clearly see how their mission statements guide their product mix decisions, their pricing decisions, as well as their promotion decisions. So the mission statement guides everything. So it's very important to have a clear mission statement. So if you're planning to have a marketing plan, the first thing is come out with a mission statement. The next thing is objective, which is a little bit short term than mission statements. It's about setting goals. What goals do you have? What short term goals do you have for your marketing plan? The goals can't be anything. Like your goal shouldn't be like I want to do something which you can't really measure it. The goals have to be smart. By smart, I mean they have to be specific. Like, okay, this is what my goal is. They have to be measurable. So specific would mean I want to increase my customer satisfaction. Measurable, okay, can I measure customer satisfaction? Yes. Are they achievable? So given the resources that you have, can you really achieve it? They should be relevant to your business. So if increasing customer satisfaction is your goal, we can clearly see it's actually relevant for a firm. But if your goal is as a company like Apple to win the FIFA World Cup, well, that's not really a relevant goal for you. So it has to be relevant and it has to be time bound so that you can work together to meet that objective within a time. Because if you don't really time bound an objective, then you don't really have a motivation to make it through. So it has to be a SMART goal. So it has to be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. So that's about your goal. And of course, you should set your short-term milestones to make sure that you are progressing to your goal. You should have one big goal which would probably take 7 years to reach, and you don't have anything in between that you've set your target at. So you should have short-term milestones and as well as a long-term vision where your business is going, so that you can have so that one goal can actually guide another goal. And that's important, because if you don't really marry the short-term milestones with long-term vision, then you're not really aligning your missions and your objectives. Because mission statement is something which is very, very long-term. It's probably something that you can never achieve, because empowering everyone is a very bold statement. So your objectives have to meet that. It has to align with that. So make sure that you have a short-term milestones and long-term visions which marry each other, which go with each other, so that you can align your mission with your objectives. So this was about having mission and having objectives and having goals and having milestones. The next thing that you do in your marketing plan is you actually do a situation analysis. It's trying to see where you are in the marketplace. Now, this is very important, because until now, we have just been looking inward. We've just been looking within a firm. What are my goals? What are my objectives? We have not been looking outside in the marketplace. So this is an opportunity to actually go out and look, where do you stand in the market? So for instance, Apple is a company in a garage way back. So at that time, Apple was not really the Apple that it is today. So it was probably nowhere in the marketplace at that time. So it becomes important to identify 4 things about you. So it becomes important to identify what are your strengths. It becomes important to identify what are your weaknesses. I know I'm asking you to identify your weaknesses, and there's going to be some confirmation bias in that. But you got to do that. You've got to identify what your weaknesses are. Maybe get some external advice on your weaknesses, but it's very important. What opportunities exist for you as a business, and what threats exist for you as a business? So the strengths could be, your resources. It could be your employees. It could be the product excellence that you have, or it could be basically anything which can provide customer value just because of who you are. So Apple's strength was, when it was a company, an up and coming company, their strength was that, they have an idea which is going to create an excellent product. What are the weaknesses? The weaknesses would be, you're a small company, you're not resourceful, or it could be you have internal politics. So it could be any weakness that you're thinking about. Opportunities would be, what opportunities exist. So for Apple, when they were starting out, the opportunity was there was no other product like the idea that Apple was, the idea of the product that the Apple was creating. And then comes the threats. So threats could be competitors, threat could be legal regulations, threats could be anything, but it becomes very important to identify each of these. So for instance, I'll just give you an example of Apple's strategic overview right now. So what are their strengths? Their strengths right now is their brand equity. Like consumers love Apple for the brand it is. It has a reputation with its customer base. It can forgive some mistakes that Apple makes, and they're price insensitive. So there's that. They're very innovative. They have a track record of great innovative products, and they have a good ecosystem. So those are their strengths. And what weakness that they have? So one weakness that they have is probably the premium pricing that they have, the price points, which kind of prohibits many customers to consume their products, especially in price sensitive regions. They actually rely a lot on iPhone sales to make revenue, and which is a bit alarming because iPhones are becoming saturated, and they're very dependent on iPhone sales. But they know that. Then what are the opportunities that they have? So one of the opportunities that they have is service expansion. They can expand on the services. There's a huge scope for that, to expand on Apple Music, on the iCloud, and all the apps in the App Store. So they have a lot of opportunity to expand on that. Is something that they can work towards, and that will actually be beneficial to them. And then you've got the wearable technology. I know Apple Vision Pro has come out recently, so that's an opportunity for them. It's a market to be captured. And then what are the threats that they have? Of course, they have a lot of competition from Samsung, from Google, from other companies, from Android. So they have a lot of competition, but they also have a lot of trade tensions, which can influence their supply chain, their product pricing, and something that they have recently encountered. So just by doing this SWOT analysis, which is strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats, you can kind of understand what your situation is in the marketplace, and that will actually help you to gauge forward in the implementation of your marketing plan. So this would be this video, guys. I hope it was enjoyable. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.